Hey guys, today I'm bringing you a video discussing why I love sequels. And this video is being inspired by the release of Return to the Isle of the Lost by Melissa de la Cruz. This is the sequel to the best-selling Isles of the Lost. And this video is being sponsored by Disney Hyperion. If you don't know anything about this series, it has such a fun story concept. If you're a Disney fan, you will probably love this series. Basically, we follow the kids of iconic Disney characters. We've got the kid of Maleficent, we've got the kid of Jafar, Cruella de Vil, and so many others. And basically you get to follow them on a bunch of different adventures. And of course these books are flooded with a bunch of different Disney references. This book came out on May 24th, and in this sequel, the cast of characters have been receiving these threatening messages, so they must return to the Isle of the Lost and figure out where these messages are coming from, who's behind all this madness. I actually got the chance to moderate a panel at BookCon, and Melissa de la Cruz was on that panel, and she talked about the process of writing the story, and you could just tell that she just had so much fun writing this series. And she talked about how she went back and watched all these Disney movies in order to write this book, and you could just really tell that she was very passionate about this series, so that's always really nice to see. So if this sounds like something that you might enjoy, definitely go check it out. This book kind of has a hypnotizing cover. It's just like, look at me, I am so shiny and shimmery. It's actually making me want to sing Reflection from Mulan. But today's video is inspired by that book and why I love sequels so much. So without further ado, let's get started. First up, I want to talk about the journey of getting to a sequel, because it's always a freaking waiting game. And that waiting game is rough. It's like when you're leaving your house to go somewhere, you buckle up and head on out, but hot diggity dang, traffic is in the way of where you're wanting to go. You finish a book and it's everything, and you want to rush to the store and get the sequel, but it's most likely not out yet. So you've got to go through the motions of traffic and read all these different books to fill the void of wanting that sequel. But you know what? That journey leading up to the sequel, though at times it may be aggravating and it might feel like it's taking forever and a day, that wait is worth it. Give it to me, I'm worth it. Because during that waiting period, not only do you get to read all these fantastic books, you get to fanboy and fangirl with all these other readers. You can theorize what's gonna happen next in the series, though often the theories that I come up with don't end up happening. You can reread the first book and pick up on things that you hadn't before. And then on the actual day of the release, it's like the most exciting thing ever. You've waited so long to get this book. You go to the bookstore, walk in, there it is on the shelves in all its glory, and you bring it home with you and you eat up all the words. It's glorious. And then if there's gonna be another book in the series, you get to go through that journey all over again. And it's just the best! One of the main reasons why I do love sequels though is that it gives the author an opportunity to expand on the story. We've got character growth, which is honestly, to me, one of my absolutely favorite things seeing within a sequel. In the first book, we're usually always just being introduced to the characters and just kind of getting a feel for who they are. And with the second book, we get so much more from them. The characters grow and they change, and sometimes that's an amazing thing and sometimes it's the worst. Especially when a beloved character just isn't acting like themselves, or if they end up making terrible decisions. Another thing that I love is that we get so much more from the world. It's really nice having a sequel because the author will often expand on the world, but you don't have to go through the process of relearning everything about the world. Because usually in book one, it's a setup for how the world works. So you're already familiar with how everything works within the world, but the author can take it further in the sequel and expand on different things. So you kind of just get to dive back into the story and go with it. You don't usually have to deal with many info dumps. Another thing that I love seeing in sequels is when we get more of a direction with the plot. I feel like with the first book, you can't really see where the story's gonna go. You're not really sure what the author's next move is gonna be, but usually with a sequel, they've set the groundwork already, so now they're really ready to point the story in the direction that they want it to go in. And it's just nice having all those different expansions, especially if you loved the first book. But there are even times when you might not have liked the first book, and you're just kind of like, meh, that was pretty good, but it could use some work. And then the sequel is released and all the meh feelings you had about book one are completely resolved within book two. I always love when that happens, because it's like you see potential in the first book and then the author blows your expectations out of the water with book two. And finally, the last reason why I love sequels is because sometimes you're given a little bit of a plot twist at the end of a book. So obviously it's nice when the sequel drops and you get some resolution. So those are some of my thoughts on sequels. I would love to hear your guys' thoughts on sequels. What's your favorite part about a sequel? What's your least favorite part about a sequel? Let me know down below. Also, don't forget to check out the Return to the Isle of the Lost by Melissa de la Cruz. It's in bookstores now. And if you like this video, be sure to give it a big thumbs up. I post videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, so click subscribe if you want to be notified for when I post new videos. Thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you soon with a new video. Bye, chew. We've got the kid of Melissa. So if this sounds like something that you might enjoy, Storm in here, it's so hot. It's filming in the summertime, guys. It's a struggle.